Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pelshia, moderator for the conference call. Welcome to Nava Limited Q3 FY24 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participants will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star and then 0 on your touch-tone telephone. Please note this conference is recorded. I would now like to hand over the floor to Mr. Mohit Kumar from ICICI Securities Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pelshia. On behalf of ICICI Securities, we welcome you all to the Q3 FY24 earnings call of Nava Limited. To discuss the results and queries of investors, we have with us Mr. Ashwin Devineni, Chief Executive Officer, Mr. G.R.K. Prasad, Executive Director, Mr. Nikhil Devineni, Senior Vice President, Mr. Sultan Beg, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. V.S.N. Raju, Company Secretary. I'll hand over the call to the management for a brief opening remark, which will be followed by Q&A. Thank you, and over to you, sirs.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ashwin. I am pleased to welcome you all to the Nava Limited's conference call discussing our financial results for the third quarter and the 9-month period of fiscal year 2024. It is with great satisfaction that we share the highlights of our achievements across various segments, demonstrating our commitment to financial stability, operational excellence, and sustainable growth. Firstly, I'm delighted to announce that Nava Limited has achieved its highest ever quarterly profit of Indian rupees 465 crores during the third quarter, making a record profit of rupees 1,001 crores for the 9-month period ending 31st December 2023. One of our significant accomplishments is the substantial reduction in our consolidated debt, which has decreased by 93% compared to December 2022. Our Zambian subsidiary, Mamba Collieries Limited, has made substantial progress in repaying its long-term debt, and we are on track to achieve a debt-free status by the end of this fiscal year. These exceptional results and our operational performance across other divisions, such as the agri-business in Zambia and mining explorations in Côte d'Ivoire, underscore our commitment to creating long-term value for our shareholders, and we remain optimistic about the future as we continue to focus on achieving our goal of becoming long-term debt-free at the group level. Thank you very much for joining us today, and I look forward to an engaging discussion on our financial performance. Thank you. We can take questions now.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad and wait for your turn to ask the question. If you would like to withdraw your request, you may do so by pressing star and 1 again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. First question comes from A.M. Lodha from Sanmatic Consultants. Please go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah. Hi, Ashwin. Congratulations for good set of numbers, as well as very good operational performance of merchant power plant in India, along with the 300 megawatt in MCL also. I have a few questions regarding your results. Number one, what is the status of arbitration award money which our company is supposed to be received by December 23?
Yeah. So, thank you for the comments, Mr. Lodha. In terms of the arbitration amount, give me a second. So out of, in the last year, we received, to date, we've received 264 million, and 254 million is pending, which we expect to receive, by this year end, calendar year end.
No. The money was to be received in two tranches. Some money was to be received by the December 23, and $180 million was to be received by December 24. So just I am not discussing about 180 million companies supposed to be received by December 24. I am just asking about the money which are supposed to be received by the company by December 23. How much is pending?
So in terms of,
and when do you expect to realize it?
No, in terms of 23, what was supposed to be received, there is about 75 million still pending. But we have been in discussions with the utility because it's a very large amount, and also there's, in terms of there's some, we're getting it in US dollars, so there's some currency issues, but things are going as per plan, discussions are going well, and based on the new, plan that we keep agreeing with DESCO, they are performing. So as of date, they still have to pay us 254 million. Before this...
Okay, sir. Sorry to interrupt you. Current monthly billing is being received by the company not on time?
Yes, we've been getting that on time. There's no issue.
Okay, sir. My second question, since the company is likely to pay entire external loan by March 2024, what will be the allocation plan of the company when the arbitration money or the cash surplus arise out of the normal operation of the company? And can we expect the money due to holding company of MCL in Singapore from which is due around approximately 700 plus interest? Can we expect that money to be bring back in Singapore subsidiary and ultimately in Nava?
Yes. So I think one of the reasons, we are accelerating paying off this debt and prepaying a lot of this debt. One is because interest rates are extremely high, and number two is also to allow us to access the cash that MCL generates in the form of, MCL declaring dividends or paying off the loan from this holding company in Bharat Singapore. So like you rightly said, our intentions and plans once we pay off the debt are, yes, to kind of pay off the shareholder loan and the interest, and then also further declare dividends post that, which will come back up to the parent company Nava.
Okay, sir. My last question regarding power. Power is a core business of the company. Whether company is likely to expand this business in India as well as in MCL, where plenty of coals is available.
Yes. So in terms of, let me start off with MCL, which is probably the easier question. We do have intentions to double the capacity at MCL. In fact, a lot of the technical work is being carried out. We have in fact spoken to the government, and we've indicated that they need to help provide funding, given that not a lot of banks come forward towards coal funding now. So the government also is working on that. So we do have intentions of doubling our capacity in Zambia to 600 megawatts.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, go on, sir. Go on.
In India, Mr. Lodha, the issue is with coal. Fortunately, right now, we do see, a positive swing with regards to the power market. But in terms of setting up a new plant, there are a lot of uncertainties, and especially given the fact that coal prices have gone to a level where, you only make money if the power tariffs are high, does not validate, possibly setting up a new power plant at this stage in India, a coal-fired power plant at this stage in India. So currently, that's not
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir, for clarification. Thank you, and congratulations again for the good set of numbers, sir.
Thank you. Next question comes from Bharat Sheth from Quest Investment Advisors Private Limited. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you for the opportunity and congratulations on good set of numbers. I have now on power side, you have already replied everything. I want to get some sense on our ferro alloy business. So where do we see currently still we are incurring losses, but in your fair opinion, when we can really see that turnaround of business?
Yeah, Mr. Bharat, thank you for the question. Unfortunately, in Q3, we did not see much of an increase in ferroalloy prices. It was more or less similar to that of Q2's. But going forward, we have witnessed about 10 to 15% increase, particularly in the export market. So going forward, we see that there would be improvements in the ferroalloys vertical. Having said that, we have also taken certain corporate actions to de-risk ourselves from a single product line, because currently we are only producing silico-manganese, which is a bulk alloy. In January, we had diversified one of our furnaces to produce even ferrosilicon. Now, with ferrosilicon, we are fortunately witnessing a margin as opposed to silico-manganese, and the delta being of about 15 to 20,000 rupees between the two. So if this does sustain, the train of thought is to convert one more furnace for ferrosilicon production so that the realizations of the ferroalloy vertical would improve.
Sir, I mean, if you can, I mean, of course, I do understand. So what kind of a demand scenario is there between this, say, silicon manganese and ferrosilicon? And cost of production also, is there any delta between these two?
Yes, the delta in terms of cost of production is about 25,000 rupees between ferrosilicon being on the higher side, owing to higher power consumption. With respect to demand, there is sufficient demand for the silico-manganese in the silico-manganese market. In fact, as we speak today, we have essentially a complete order book even for Q4 with respect to silico-manganese. But the issue is one of pricing. Given that there is a lot of surplus production available, there is heavy pricing pressures in the silico-manganese market. Whereas ferrosilicon, given the entry barriers, we find that the number of suppliers are less, and as a result of that, the prices are much higher.
And both are for the export purpose. Is that fair understanding?
Both for domestic and export, there is a good market for ferrosilicon.
And how is the scenario for this ferromanganese?
Ferromanganese too is very similar to that of silico-manganese. Essentially, it's the same raw materials with the same power consumption and so on. So there is demand, but there is again a lot of pricing pressures. To which point that most producers are unable to recover their full cost given the current pricing.
Okay, great. And thank you very much, sir. And all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from Jatin Damania from Savan Investments. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity and congrats to the entire team for delivering the financials. So I just wanted to check that in FY24, in the last commentary, you said that we will be receiving $180 million, which was the leftover. So $75 million now, which has been carried forward to FY24. Do we expect that to receive in the current quarter, or probably it will also get delayed to second half of this calendar year?
Yeah, sorry, I could not, we can barely hear you, sir, but I think what the question you have asked is with regards to when we will be receiving the 75 million. The 75 million is a large amount. We've been in discussions with ZESCO, and they've been very positive with discussions. They look like they have a very, very definitive plan. I don't want to commit in terms of when exactly we'll get it, because the discussions are still going on, but we are positive that we'll get it sooner rather than later.
But I mean, I agree that because of the currency issues and everything which was got delayed, but it was supposed to come in the December. So is it that the data or the financing situation at the ZESCO is in problem, and we could see a further receivables piled up for calendar year 24?
No, it's nothing to do with their financial situation. You've got to understand that the arrears amount is a large amount, and the fact is, in order to meet the arrears, they need to also take on certain loans and so on. So some of the reasons for the delay of the 75 have been caused because of that, because of certain external financials as opposed to Zesco's health. In fact, Zesco's health is only improving, and that's the fact that we get our monthly payments on time and we paid 254 million today clearly shows that their financial situation is greatly improved. With regards to the 75, let me be also clear that it's not come as a complete surprise. We've been in discussions with them. Every time they are facing certain difficulties or, we've been in discussions and we agree to new plans. So the plan now is that they will be paying us 254 million before this calendar year end.
And sir, what is the monthly payment? I mean, if you can help us, what is the monthly payment that we are getting it from the Zesco?
It depends on the amount of power we sell to them, and our current tariff is around 10.3 cents.
So that amounts to near about $15 to $20 million, right? Anywhere between that.
Yes, around that, yeah.
So once now, since we'll be the debt-free by the end of this financial year, suppose that are we supposed to go back to our lenders to take an approval for any corporate action and the capex that we will be doing it, or we are free to announce that by the board itself without taking a lender approval?
No, the whole point of paying off our debt is so that we don't have the lenders anymore, and there are no restrictions on the lenders, because today, although we may have cash sitting at the Mamba level, we can't pay dividends or pay off the shareholder loan because of restrictions by the lenders. So our intention is once we settle everything with the lenders, we will be able to take corporate actions based on board decisions at the Mamba level.
So mostly by next quarter, we could hear some announcement in terms for the benefit of the shareholders.
Well, let's hope so.
And sir, last two updates now, since you've already highlighted about the capital allocation that you will be doubling up the capex in MCL from 300 to 600 megawatts. So can you throw what is the capex that you will be spending it? And secondly, update on your Ivory Coast and your agriculture business.
Yeah, so in terms of the money they're getting, it's not just for the expansion in Mamba. There, I think we've envisaged the project cost of about $400 to $450 million. That's the project cost. That's not the equity portion. But we would also be utilizing it for the Ivory Coast project and also the avocado project that is progressing there. So I'll give you an update, or I'll get Mr. Nikhil to give you an update on the Ivory Coast project. Yeah. With respect to the Ivory Coast, we are making headway into the last phase of the exploration. We have completed 2 phases right now. The last phase pertains to the drilling of the key borehole sites, where manganese ore deposits have been identified. So we feel that within about 4 to 5 months, we should have a clear-cut idea in terms of both quality and quantity available at this particular mine. In parallel, we are also getting the ground ready for setting up a 22.5 MBA furnace to produce silicomanganese in Côte d'Ivoire. So the land acquisition process for this particular project is underway as we speak.
Broadly, sir, can you highlight what is the amount that you will be spending just for the Ivory Coast and the 24.5 MBA furnace out there?
Well, it's right now, it's tentative, but we're looking at about $150 million.
150 million. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. That's all from my side. Congrats once again and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question comes from Viraj Mahadeva from MoneyGrow. Please go ahead.
Hi, congratulations to the management team for such a fantastic job on turning around the balance sheet. I saw in your press release you have a debt reduction of 2,962 crores, out of which the arbitration, as you mentioned, Ashwin, is approximately 2,000 crores. So does that mean we can understand that 1,000 crores was generated as free cash flow from operations over the period?
Yes.
Okay, great. Secondly, you mentioned that the overall project of the 300 megawatts additional in Zambia is about $450 million. What would be the equity contribution towards that? Roughly 100 million?
No, I think, it's too early to say right now because, like I mentioned earlier, we're currently looking at a very unique financing structure where we're talking with the government. So, in terms of it won't be the vanilla debt equity structure that we kind of followed with the current project. So, we can't really comment on what it would be at this stage.
Understood. And in the Ivory project, I just heard the previous caller, it's a 150 million project. So again, what would be the equity contribution there?
About 30%.
30%. Right. Okay. And in the 300 megawatts of Zambia, the phase 2, at full ramp, would you generate about close to 500 crores of EBITDA?
It's all a function of the tariff. So we've got to also keep in mind that one of the reasons the government wants phase 2 is so that the average tariff or cost comes down. So it all will be a function of what tariff we agree for phase 2 and what the average tariff for phase 1 and phase 2 would be.
Understood. And how far would this plant be from completion if you start, say, 6 months from now?
So post-financial, if we start from some groundbreaking day one, it will be estimate about 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Really
So
2
this
years.
doesn't start really contributing till FY26, maybe 27. Okay.
It all depends on the start date. So I think we've learned a lot from phase 1 in terms of what to do and what not to do and how to structure the deal so that the risk is minimal for us as the parent company. So unless the terms are the way we want it, I don't think we will go forward. But I think the government understands and they're working on a solution. So when they're ready, I think we'll be able to start.
Great. My last point is on a buyback by the company. Given that you just mentioned free cash flows of upwards of 1,000 crores annually with $250 million yet to come in arbitration this year, you should have sufficient money for equity contributions both for 300 megawatt Zambia as well as Ivory. I'm hoping the management would consider a buyback while prices continue to remain attractive for the company over the next 12 months.
Yeah, no, I think, we're always looking at positive corporate actions that benefit the shareholders. But let's take it step by step. I think once we get the cash in, definitely we would like to, look at certain corporate actions that make sense.
Excellent. Thank you. All the very best, Ashwin.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from Vignesh Iyer from Sequent Investments. Please go ahead.
Congratulations, sir, on good set of numbers, and thank you for the opportunity. Sir, my first question would be, I just want to know how much money have we spent on the exploration activity that you are doing in Ivory Coast, and how much money have we spent on avocado project till now?
So for the Ivory Coast, up until now, we've spent about 2 million. And for the avocado project,
so far we have spent 12 million on development of full plantation for 275 hectares and land development for another 275 hectares.
Sorry, avocado you spent around 12 million, right? 12 million.
12 million. Yes.
Okay. And sir, coming to the when I was going through your balance sheet that you have posted for the half yearly ended FY24, right? So there was some trade receivable amounting to roughly 530 crores that was standing under non-current asset. Could you help me understand what that number would be as of now?
It's the receivables in MCL from arbitration proceeds.
Yeah, I know. I got the nature of the amount that is to be received, but what has been the changes? Has there been certain shifts that has happened from non-current to current? That is.
We are classifying everything as a current receivable, except 180 million, which we anticipate to receive in the next calendar year.
Okay. So Okay. That amount is in nature of the amount that we have to receive, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So my next question would be on lines of the income tax that the company is paying. So there has been, quite a change when it comes to the tax percentage, right? This quarter, we didn't actually pay any tax, and obviously in nature of adjustment. If you could help me understand what the nature of adjustment was and what would be our usual tax rate, for the quarter.
So I'll split it between India and overseas operations. India, we are at a tax rate of 25% for the Indian operations, Indian subsidiaries. When it comes to Mamba colonies, our division has a tax holiday for 10 years, and mining division is a regular tax rate of 35%. But what is peculiar in the current quarter is adjustment because of the deferred tax benefit. Basically, deferred tax benefit is arising out of the fact that there is a significant depreciation in the Zambian currency against the dollar, which depreciated over 20% in the current quarter. Though we have our financials and the revenues in US dollar terms, but the local taxation is in local currency. That's what giving rise to deferred tax benefit. So it's not that we have not paid any tax, it's the deferred tax benefit that got reflected in the books. The liability is reduced because of the cost of depreciation against dollar.
Okay. Liability got adjusted to the foreign exchange, right? If I get it right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So the tax holiday, on account of tax holiday, what would be the revised rate of tax that we would be paying, and what is the tax that we are paying as of now, and when does the tax holiday end?
Tax holiday Pamba Power Plant is another 4 years.
Okay.
And India operations at 25% rate. So
Okay.
post that it will be a
Right.
regular taxation of 35% in Zambia.
Oh, okay. So, sir, my next question would be, sir, on the avocado side of our project, what is the total expected cost that we might incur? I guess, if I'm not wrong, you envisage that by 26 you should start earning some money out of it. So what would be the total money that we are going to incur, and does the project entirely belong to us, or it is in agreement with the government?
It's entirely equity funded from our own generation. The overall project outlay over the next 3 to 4 years is additional, other than 12 we have already invested, close to $30 million. So overall, our anticipation is that it will cost about $40 million.
So 12 million as of now and another 30 million, right? If I'm getting it right.
28 to 30. Overall, about 40 around.
Okay. So I missed the initial question and answer. If I'm not wrong, you would say that you planning to doubling your capacity in MCL, right? Does that the financing agreement is yet to be finalized?
So we can barely hear you. I think your line is... Maybe you can get back in the queue with a clearer line?
Yeah. Sure, sir. I'll get that.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. We have a follow-up question from A.M. Logda from Sunmatic Consultants. Please go ahead.
Sir, hello. My voice is coming now?
Yes, sir.
But management is not responding.
Just a moment, sir. Dear participants, kindly stay connected. Dear participants, kindly stay connected while we connect the management team back on the call.
Holding, madam.
I welcome back the chairperson. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes. Sir, I have few follow-up questions. Number one, what is the present power tariff with MCL in Zambia in the 300 megawatt?
It's about 10.3 cents per kilowatt.
How much, sir? How much?
10.3 cents. 10.3.
10. So when the next revision is due, sir?
September of this year.
September of this year.
Yeah, 24. Every September.
Okay. What is the merchant power cell capacity in India, sir? And whether they are operating in full capacity?
All our plants, yes, they're operating at close to full capacity, and we have commitments all the way till the end of May.
Okay, sir. The last question, the coal sale by MCL, is there any restriction on limit of quantity of sale?
No, there is no restriction.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for answering all my queries. Thank you very much, sir. Again, I wish you all the best, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from Govind Lal Gilada, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thanks for giving me opportunity to ask question. And first, congratulations for good set of numbers and making substantial debt repayment of 500 crores plus in January 1 month. So it is now meager 250 crores, and certainly I hope we'll do it in February and March. So I got 2-3 questions, sir. One is, if I remember correct, till December we are supposed to receive 93 million, and now we are telling that it is 75 million due. So 18 million has been received in January, sir?
Yes, we received the 18 million.
So 93 million we have to receive, 18 million we have received. Yeah, that is very positive, sir. Something we have received, and balance we are hope to receive in near future.
Yes.
That is my understanding is correct, sir? Thank you.
Yes.
That is great, sir. So one more request of this result PowerPoint presentation. Generally, we upload on BSc after 2-3 days. It will be convenient if we upload before results. So in that any queries or that, all that we can also clarify. So why it is so, sir? Generally, all the companies, they upload before result only, call only.
We cannot upload before the results, Mr. Gilada. This will be done simultaneously, but within 1 or 2 days. So Monday we will upload the latest presentation.
No, that's what it is happening. Generally, all the companies, they upload before call. So after doing the PPT also, if you have got some many queries, we can clarify in call. No, if you upload before.
Sure. We will definitely try to do that.
That is. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. That is from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next question comes from Samad from Arjuna Research. Please go ahead.
I want to ask, thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity. I want to ask, what is the current rate of power offtake with the MCL that the company has entered into PPA?
Sorry, the current what?
What is the rate at which power is supplied to the state DISCOM by the MCL?
Yeah, so it's about 10.3 US cents per kilowatt hour.
10.37 US dollars?
Yes, US cents.
US cents. Okay, and in Ivory Coast, are we planning to set up a power plant, or we are just exploring the mining business?
So I think, mine is one thing that we are exploring currently. for which the results should come shortly. But in addition to that, given the fact that the raw material is available at source and the geographical location being very close to major steel markets like Europe and US, it makes sense for us to set up a industry there as well, a silicomanganese plant. So, as you may be aware, the silicomanganese process is a very power-intensive one, and unfortunately in Ivory Coast, the grid tariffs are extremely high. So the only way that it becomes viable is for us to have our own captive power plant. So we're looking at the option of setting up the silicomanganese plant associated with the captive power plant.
And it will be captive, or it will be also available for selling to the local grid?
It's going to be purely captive.
Purely captive.
That's right.
Am I right?
That's
okay.
Right.
And once again, I want to ask you, there were two power plants in India which were basically closed or not operating due to some legal reason. Basically, like market not being available for direct exchange. In Karnataka or Andhra Pradesh, there is one plant. So is it operational now?
No, I think what you may be referring to is a plant. See, that is a 20 megawatt cogeneration plant. That still is idle. No, but not because of any legal reason. Not a legal reason, it's more a commercial reason. Because of the cost of generation being very high, we're not producing any power from there. That's in Andhra Pradesh.
Okay. And I have one more question. The ferrous alloy business of the company is not yet profitable. So what is the market prospect for the business? Because you said that you are going to set up another plant in Ivory Coast. Secondly, from next month you would be making available one furnace for ferrous silicon alloy. So how do you look at the market, and what's your perspective regarding that?
See, the alloys market is one of that is cyclical in nature. So I wouldn't look at it from a very narrow lens. Today, yes, you are right that we are going through a downturn. But if you look at the preceding years, particularly the last 2 to 3 years, the ferroalloys market was doing extremely well. So I think when you are considering an expansion in this particular field, it needs to be one that is based on a long-term view rather than a short-term view. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Ivory Coast does have a lot of competitive advantages relative to India, given the fact that the raw material, which accounts for almost 40% of the cost, is available right there and then. And similarly, given that we're going to have a captive power plant through biomass, we foresee that the generation cost of power, which again accounts for about 30%, is going to be hopefully at a lower tariff than what we are looking at in India. So putting all these things together, it makes both commercial and economic sense to expand in Ivory Coast.
Okay. There is one more question. The other businesses in India which are into alloy have reported a very good set of margin as well as the revenue jump. The revenue jump was also visible in the Nawaz result of the Faker alloy business, but there was dip in when it came to margin. What was the possible reason for it? Can you let us know?
I think you're referring to a couple of companies involved in ferroalloys who are producing ferrochrome, which is a completely different story from what we produce. So they may have done a little better. But if you look at silicomanganese and most silicomanganese producers in India, you would find that the results are more or less in line with us.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was the last question for the day. Now I hand over the floor to management for closing comments.
In closing, I would like to express my gratitude to all the stakeholders for their continued support and trust in Nava Limited. Our achievements in this quarter reflect the collaborative work of the entire Nava team and our commitment to provide impetus for growth to all our stakeholders. As we move forward, we will continue to strive for excellence in our endeavors, creating value for our shareholders, employees, customers, and the communities we serve. Thank you very much for participating in this discussion. I hope we've addressed all queries adequately. If there are any questions or clarifications that remain unanswered, please get back to us, and we'd be happy to provide answers on a wider investor platform. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your conference for today. Thank you for your participation and for using Doorsabha's conference call service. You may disconnect your lines now. Thank you and have a good day.